Hello and welcome to lesson 9, where we are going to have a look at another email. And just like the previous email or the previous lesson, I would like you to read through the email here, pause the video, think about all of those elements of an email and see if you can identify them here. Then redraft, rewrite the email, unpause the video and see if your answers are similar to my suggested answer. Okay, I'll see you shortly. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and you did the work and you managed to identify all of the issues. So let's go through them and see if you agree with me. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is shrink myself way down into the corner so I don't block any text. And let me get my pen tool out. Okay, so on the original email it started off, "Dear Sir." This is a mistake. Why is it a mistake? Because the context of the email tells us that emails have been going backwards and forwards. So we should know who we are writing to. We are not writing to a stranger. We are writing to someone we already have communicated with. So this should be "Dear Mr., Dear Mrs., or Dear Ms., whoever it's going to be. So if you're communicating with someone, you know who they are, please don't write "Dear Sir, Dear Madam." Okay? This is not formal. This is just incorrect. Let's have a look at how the email started here. Your response to our request for further information is still awaited, and the deadline for the project is fast approaching. Here we've got passive forms, very little information about who asked for what or what the relationship is between the people. So we've got to make this a lot clearer. And that's what I hope I have done in my suggested answer. So I said, I am writing to you to find out if you have had time to respond to our request to send us further information. And I'm stressing this. I am writing to you to find out if you have had time to respond to our request to send us further information. So I'm clearly communicating the relationship between me and the reader. And then I go on to say, the deadline to receive the information is approaching. Now this is a second point, and so it should go in a second sentence. Okay, so we've made the reason for writing a lot clearer. So is there any data here? Yes, there is. The information includes financial statements for 2017, 2019, and the documents we highlighted in last month's email. So we've got a few problems here. Presentation of information in the list would be much clearer. And what did we want? What are the documents? And in which email? So I've made that completely clear here. We need the following information for our report, your financial statements for which years, and the documents are employee reports. And the email was 24th of the 5th, 2020. So now, even if the reader has to look in a different document, the reader knows exactly what to look for and in which email. So this is helpful. This is helping the reader do what you want the reader to do. And that's always something we should bear in mind. Think about your message from the point of view of the reader. If the reader just got this original sentence, the documents we highlighted in last month's email, the reader's response will be, what documents? What email? It wasn't me. Who was it? What's going on? If I said what and where, the reader will go, aha, okay, that's me, and I know where that is. So that's the difference between not being precise and being precise and giving the reader information. Okay, let's go on. And then we've got this final line. I would appreciate your prompt response in this matter. Once again, don't ask for help Don't ask for favours. Use an indirect question form. Please could you send the information to us by Thursday 5 p.m. Clear instruction, clear deadline. Then we've got a correction here. Best regards, of course, should be written, not abbreviated. And lastly, but most importantly, the subject line. Information tells me nothing at all but this subject line, and you can see it's a long subject line. Our request for financial statements and employee reports, deadline approaching. So these words I've chosen these words to make the reader start to panic, to go under pressure, to think there's a time limit here, I have to respond. So there are a number of writing techniques that you can use in order to get the reader to respond a little bit faster, but you have to use them carefully and appropriately. Now, one question you might have is that I haven't in my emails said if you've got any questions about if you've got any questions about the email, please get in contact, because it's not always appropriate to do that. Sometimes when you're giving the client information, so you're writing like you're giving the client some legal information or some accounting information, something like that, then you can say, because it makes sense, if you have any questions, get in contact. Now here, what I want is a specific action. So here, I've chosen not to say, if you've got any questions. But of course, I could if I wanted to. So, and it might be necessary. So if I'm writing to, and this is about knowing your reader, if you are writing to someone who is new in their job, because you know who the reader is, then you can say, if you've got any questions, get in touch, because you will know that the reader probably will have questions. But when there is a relationship established, then the context might tell you you don't need to use those sentences. And in the example in this lesson and in lesson 8, I thought I didn't need that final line. Okay, guys, good work. I hope your answers looked something like my suggested answer. As long as you identified the problems and fixed as many of them as possible, you are going on the right road.